Well, cheers, Weezer, to another Wednesday night.
It is.
A windy one at that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that northwest wind blowing me home when I came home from visiting you on Saturday.
No, thank you for coming out to visit. Thank you, Grandma, for coming out to visit.
We had a lot of fun.
Wonderful time. A very wonderful time. Life isn't so bad in South Dakota.
No, tell me about Kyle's birthday. What'd you guys do to celebrate his birthday? You know, we have so many October birthdays in our family.
We do.
And when Kyle joined our family, why, his birthday's in October as well. So see, he's just a good fit all the way around.
He is. We went fishing and he lost. It was a good day.
He lost?
He lost. He got outfished by his wife, which I know everybody tells me, you should have been nice. You should have let him outfish. He should have outfished you. But his wish that day was that I outfished him. And it worked. It really did. It was a fun day. It was a beautiful day. It's one of the last nicer fishing days that we had for the year. In the boat, anyways.
What kind of wine are we sipping on tonight, Weezer?
I've dug out my fancy glasses, and this episode's brought to you by Brianna from Grandview Valley. This is my new favorite wine. It's delightful.
So if you're looking for something to do on a weekend, take a trek down to the River Valley by Bellevue.
And drink some wine, eat some pizza.
And then make sure you stop at Iverson Tree Farm.
Absolutely. They have
for their fall fun.
Tons of pumpkins, and they've got lots of stuff for the kids, and it's a free will offering. It'll be a great time.
And a new hat I see you're donning.
On our lovely adventure out to South Dakota, why, Thelma, you bought a lovely hat.
It's green, so I can use it for Halloween. I can use it for Christmas. I can use it when I eat olives, because I do like olives.
This is true, and even for Easter.
St. Patrick's Day, I felt that it had a lot of opportunity in it, and so I brought it home, as well as, I hope you can see my beautiful new brooch and earrings. I purchased those at Oh My.
Bits of Yesterday Antique Mall in Arlington.
Arlington, that was a fantastic little antique shop. So if you're looking for an antique shop, you need to venture there.
Make sure it doesn't poke you, but here, check out this lovely brooch.
And you know why I bought it? Because it was full of pink stones that represent October birthdays. And there was even some blue ones in there for those people that have a birthday in March, like myself and Katie.
It's kind of fun. So what are we showing today? I mean, the fall leaves are blowing around. Is that what we're doing today?
Now, fall is one of my favorite times of the year. So today we're just going to take a look at some fall quilts. They don't really have anything necessarily to do always with the quilt shop, something that you and I have designed. I didn't know that you were going to be such a soap tonight, or I would have given you a little more.
Well, you know, at the end of the day,
in COVID, we can't share germs, I don't believe.
Well, we welcome fall. This little guy is one of my favorites that you've done. I love the panel.
This is just a panel cut and quilted together. We maybe showed it to you in a previous episode, but it is available on our website if you're interested in making one of those. This little guy is an older project that I made. We used it actually as a group stitch along, and it even has just a stick from God's Forest as the hanger with a little old wire wrapped around it. And this year it's finding its home in our house.
I have to be honest, I've got some displays out in the South Dakota house. You might have to take some pictures and show.
This little guy is one of my favorite. It's a really quick runner to put together, and shouts out to Bev Nording, who would come in the shop and tell us that, you know, you don't always need to put a border on something. And so this one was actually named after Bev's last name. It's called Nordley's Way. And it's just one charm pack, and you sew it together and put some binding on it, and you're good to go. And it also has its home inside my house on an old ladder. These two old relics, I just smiled when I dug them out of the box. It's a candy pack around a crabapple hill embroidery pattern that I believe Anna Marie did, and then we took and dry painted on the fabric to give it some extra color. And the echo quilting in the background, it's It's one of my favorites, as well as this guy.
She had a lot of work in this guy.
She embroidered this for us, same kind of principle where we did some dry brush painting on it. Yeah, it was just a quick project to put together, not so quick to actually do the embroidery. I remember you did this little guy.
I remember that too.
They had a whole line of patterns that were long and skinny like this one.
Really fast to put together.
A good old fusible applique. This is one of our designs. This actually came off of one of your candy project patterns, and rather than leave the center area plain, I chose to add some applique inside of it. And I actually think I'm going to do this again and put a turkey in there.
Oh, cute.
Thanksgiving is coming.
Rather fast.
This little guy is also from that same panel project like you've seen the very first projects. Just a skinny runner. I have a little ladder on my kitchen counter, and this hangs over that. It's a quick and simple little project to put together, and it too can be found on our website. Another one we had to blow the dust off of. This is something that you created. Not our pattern, but a very cute little fall Halloween project.
That little guy.
And Sherry Falls, she had some really neat fall patterns too.
Favorites of hers.
And you embroidered this one, I believe.
I did. It's kind of nice you can leave it up longer than just right at Halloween.
And crazy, this one was birthed. No binding on this little guy.
No binding. It's kind of actually looking to see. Oh, look at that. As always.
You're not supposed to show those things.
Didn't finish it.
I remember this was on a cover of a magazine, I believe American Patchwork and Quilting. And I absolutely loved that quilt. The gal that designed it is from the Fergus Falls area.
It always looked really pretty sitting on the table.
And she did this kind of cool technique where this was cut on the bias and folded back to create a scalloped look. And we haven't had that out in our house for quite a few years, but I still like it.
This is always fun fabric.
Was called Patton's Crossing, created off of this Jackie Patton stripe. She was one of our favorite kind of primitive designers that we would check out when we would go to fall market. Once again, a very quick and easy to piece together inner, and then the border on the outer edge makes it kind of a fun.
And everything was strip pieced, so this goes together really fast because you strip pieced opposite blocks together. Yeah. Super, super fast and a good way to use up any focal border pieces that you have.
And we'll probably show you this again in a snowman version when we get to that season, which we hope will be a while yet before that comes.
I remember this was one of my first embroideries. And here's a good lesson learned, the things that you remember. I used an air-soluble pen on this, and about halfway through set my project down, and much to my surprise, my lines disappeared when I went back to finish embroidering it.
And then what did you do?
Panicked maybe just a little bit, and I think that you had to help me figure out what I was doing next. And so it's kind of amazing this little guy turned out, but he's finished, unlike the other one.
It just needs a skinny little wall. This is more of a contemporary flair, I think.
Yeah. This was a GE Designs Quilt As You Go table runner, which I'm not gonna lie, from the back, the bottom is really nice and flat. She really arches up out of here.
It was all part of the plan, Weezer. Just exactly. And you know, when you look at it, you can't even see that. So don't tell those things. This was not the episode that we were to be pointing out all of our quilting
I think it's kind of funny
errors.
I just want everybody to know that. I'm pretty sure I put this together and my sewing's not real perfect.
Perfection is overrated, let me tell you. This project was a Kathy Schmidt's project, and she did a project a month, I believe. And this is just a cute little door hanger with bells, so you know somebody's coming in. A little bare roots pattern that Mom did for us. We sold a lot of these little candle mats.
They had a big series that was really popular in its day. This one was birthed too.
So this is kind of fun. This is a project that I seen many years ago, and I bought the kit. Back in those days, that was long before the quilt shop days, and I would see a project and I never dared to buy the kit. I always thought I could just go find my own fabric. But this was one time I purchased a kit, made it. I still like it to this day, but it doesn't seem like it usually makes its way up in our house during Halloween. But it's fun when you still like something as good years later as you did when you initially bought it. And this little guy, Grandma did the stitching on this too, and this is all cross stitch. So lots and lots of little X's in there. And I've been home a couple of days. My husband would say I've probably been gone more than I've been home, which is true. But I have gotten a couple projects put together. So this is my new little table topper. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with it.
I think it's really cute.
But did some prairie points on it. Took one little candy pack.
You get a nice sized runner for a candy pack.
Midnight Magic is the fabric grouping. And I have dug out of the old box this little project here that I bought on a bus trip with a lot of fun ladies. And I hope to layer that up and get that quilted so that next year that can adorn our walls in the house. It has all kinds of applique in the outer border here, so I have that yet to do, but
it's come along quite nicely.
This was kind of fun because this was a project that I think they had one kit left in the store when we were down there, and I decided that it was going to go home with me. But the pattern, I smiled because the lady that owned the quilt shop also does some of her own designing, and she had shrunk that original pattern down because it was just way too big.
There were many more star blocks on there, weren't there?
Yeah, I shrunk it once again. You weren't supposed to tell that.
Oh, I didn't know
I did. I left off a couple of rows because I just thought it was going to get to be
I let the cat out
way
of the moon.
too big. So, you know, it's hard to ever do anything just exactly like the pattern.
You have to put your own little spin on it.
Absolutely, I do. So what have you got there on your lap?
A leg covering because it's cold outside and I don't want my white pasty legs to show. But I bought this when we were in Arlington at the antique store. So this is our
kind of fun,
kind of new Halloweenish quilt. It's got a hole in the middle of it, but that's okay. Apparently they kind of thought that it was used on a picnic table, but we love the color. We thought it was kind of a unique design and an easy design, and hey, when the price is right, you have to come home with it.
And it's a super easy quilt.
Oh, super easy quilt.
Block. Super easy quilt to put
Four
together.
4 patches and half square triangles.
It makes a really cool design. And I suspect that you're going to have a new quilt pattern off of this guy.
Try to spin something off from this. Every once in a while you get a little lucky looking at something old and making it into something new.
Well, I think we might need to make a couple more antique store trips before
we can get
the
some
snowflakes
more
fly.
Fetching hats, we can get some new quilts, we can get some new jewelry.
Jewelry is a must.
And at the end of the day, it's just fun to spend some time with your mom and grandma.
It is.
We very much enjoyed your visit.
And we're looking forward to trying to come up with a creative way to stay in touch with you besides Thelma and Weezer. As you can tell, we may not get this filmed every week, but we'll do our best to make sure that we at least have a episode at least once a month to let you know what's happening here in the walls of the quilt shop.
Still alive and kicking.
And we're still creating, so we'll have new creations to show you.
Yep.
We have another date for 2021 in the books. The Annandale Fall Market has been set in October. I believe it's October 23rd of 2021.
Mark it on your calendars.
We have our bus trip. Those dates are set, and many of you are just rolling your seats over to next year. I see that Rusteds are actually going to be out and about on the road starting the first part of 2021, so that's exciting.
2021 is going to be better. We've seen a funny shirt at the Prairie Porch, which is also in Arlington. who knew that these little towns had so much fun stuff in them? But now I got married this year, so 2021 was great. Our whole family's been blessed. We've been really healthy and have our jobs. We have a lot to be grateful for. You have to appreciate the humor in a shirt that says 2020 1 star, not been the best year. And for quilt shows, we kind of thought that that was fitting.
Very much so.
And 2021 is going to be even that much better.
So, hats off to all of you, and we shall see you again
Next time.
in a couple of weeks.